Welcome back. But wait, there's more. I love this section. This is the fun part. I love to go over the different philosophies of Zen. There's so many. We've got a ton more for you, so let's jump right in. Now, a lot of people, they look at disillusionment like it's a bad thing. I mean, when you hear that word disillusionment, doesn't that sound like a negative thing? Yeah, and for most people, they said, boy, that was a very disillusioning experience, like they lost something. They did. They lost the illusion. But people are in love with their false beliefs, with their illusions. Zen is the process of disillusionment, the removal of illusion. Disillusionment is the best thing that can ever happen to you. It's the greatest gift you can give to another human being and certainly yourself. So denial is the process of holding on to your illusions. Disillusionment is the removal of illusion. And once you have reality in front of you, reality, what a fine thing, once you have that in front of you, now you can act with precision and with power. You can never get the right answer when you're in the illusion. You simply get trapped in the problem. So illusions are traps and they're prisons. You shouldn't feel bad about them being removed. Now here's a great quote, and this is always true. A person with all their excuses removed has no alternative but to succeed. Write that one down and tack it up on the wall. If you follow that philosophy, it'll change your life. Here's another great one. This is actually from the AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, big book. And it's in, I believe it's in the chapter under How It Works. It's one of the first things that they go into. Don't you have to read a chapter like How It Works? And it's a very simple quote. It says, it's all about acceptance and the beauty of it and how it can literally save your life and give you joy in life. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in this world by mistake. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. Remember that. Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Addicts in recovery say this over and over again like it's a prayer. They got the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Another phrase of what? Acceptance. Perfect. Practice this. Write this down. Print this out. Tack this up on your wall. Shove this in your pocket. Use this philosophy as often as you can. It's as old as the ancients. It's as old as Zen. It's thousands of years old, and it's here for you today. You now have these gifts as well. Love this one. I believe this is another Jim Rohn quote. Happiness is first a study, then a practice. Here's the Zen portion of it. How do you see? You look. How do you find? You search. How do you build strength? You struggle. How do you change? You become open. These are all secrets. Look these over. Think about things. I don't need to explain it to you. You're smart enough now at this point in the course, you can do this for yourself. Now, when Jim Rohn said happiness is first a study and then a practice, he said most people can't be happy because they don't know the secrets of how to be happy. You didn't know many of the secrets to be happy an hour or so ago. Why? Because they've been hidden from you. I doubt that you saw most of these things anyplace else except here. Because when I started studying the Zen, that's when I found most of these. I found little bits and pieces of them because I'd read hundreds and hundreds of books in little different bits and pieces and places. But boy, when I started studying the Zen, which is literally the study of life, of happiness, of reality, that's where it was all laid out before me. That's where you'll find it. That's where you should look. That's where you should search. But these things sound so obvious. Why? Because they're so true. But when you look at how do we actually do it, we fall short of it. We have to stop falling short. Now, when I was a therapist, I would always teach clients how all life events serve them in some fashion. I love this quote. It says, "Nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." What's happening is in life, things will happen to you, and depending upon how you look at them, you can always find the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit if you look it over. Everything that happens to you, when I look over the things that happened to me in my life that were horrible, that I wish never happened to me, in retrospect, I'm glad they did. They prepared me for things to come. They gave me strengths that I needed. So I did get crushed once, but I would have been crushed dozens of times if I hadn't gotten that lesson. I wouldn't be as compassionate with others if I hadn't been crushed in those situations. This is almost like the good people, bad people. You need both. So I want you to figure out how all of life's events serve you in some fashion. I love to watch this with addicts. They have absolutely, positively, in record time, destroyed their lives. But in having made those mistakes, they can save dozens, if not hundreds of other people by sharing their story. Plus, these failures teach them the steps to success to make their life better than it ever would have been had they never had this problem. We sometimes call these the gifts of recovery. I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of people that have had horrible, horrible addictions that you would never wish on anybody, but they got so many gifts. They learned so many things that they never would have learned, that they became such beautiful people and so strong and so kind and so loving because of it, and so mentally powerful and wise that their life was better than if they never had it. Beautiful, beautiful thing. You need to look through your life and find these areas. Next, being certain is the opposite of being open. When you think you know something, you cut yourself off from any other possibility. You shut your mind out. You are now closed-minded because your mind is closed. Where do you think that word comes from? Don't be certain. Always be wondering, did I get it right? You never know when you're running an old program. You never know when you think you found an ultimate truth and it was a layered truth, that there's actually one more piece, an additional piece, or a piece that just blows away and makes the other piece wrong. Okay? It's a whole new level of understanding. That's a beautiful thing. So never, never, never be absolutely certain. Always hold a question mark in your mind. So when our minds are closed, we're cut off from the world. We blocked ourselves off. Closed mind means closed. Nothing can come in. An open mind can absorb anything. A closed mind can absorb nothing. We want to constantly be drinking in life and new ideas and testing things. Why would we ever close our mind off unless we were afraid that our ideas would be attacked and we'd be found wrong? Only your ego cares if you're found wrong. You as a human being are excited when you find out you're wrong. Oh, I'm thrilled when I find out I'm wrong. Why? Because when I find out I'm wrong, I stop teaching it wrong. And I teach a lot of damn people. Thank you for solving that before I destroyed more lives. I love finding out I'm wrong. It also takes the system that I had and makes it obsolete, gives me a beautiful new system that's going to help me be even more massively successful. I love finding out that there's a better way or that I was wrong. Either one of those is like gold for me. I used to hate it. I used to be embarrassed by it. I used to hide it from other people. I used to deny it. I used to try to block it off and say, no, 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 that's not true. Now I run towards it. I'm excited. It's almost a goal of mine to be wrong. Don't tell my wife. How? This is another thing that comes from A and NA, but it's also a Zen philosophy. How is an acronym inside of the 12-step halls. It stands for honesty, openness, and willingness. These qualities open the door to growth. If you have these three things, you're virtually unstoppable. If you're completely honest with yourself, which means you let go of denial and you stop lying, both to yourself and others, that's a prerequisite. If you're open, you're willing to learn new things, and you're willing to take suggestions, you're willing to try new things, then you can do almost anything. If you're missing any one of these, you're done. This is why we want people to be honest and open and have a willingness to listen in recovery. Not because we want it, they must have it to grow. It's a prerequisite for growth. So always remember the HOW acronym. And finally, for this part of the training, mistaken certainties. We talked a little bit about this earlier. I want you to learn to question all your beliefs. Never be too certain. See the girl with the question mark? The human mind has a very hard time not having an answer. It'll grab an answer even if it's wrong, just as a placeholder. It hates a void. You know what a vacuum does in physics? It sucks in everything around it. Nature abhors a vacuum. So does your brain. It has a hard time until you train it keeping a question mark there. So I use every idea as a question mark or a placeholder. This is my current level of understanding. I am not completely certain. This is only the best idea that I've found so far. I'm hoping and praying that something comes along that will blow this away and take me to the next level. Okay? So remember, one of the core concepts of Zen is that you are not awake yet to the truth. You have to learn to question all the answers. We have to go back through and look through all our programming, even the new things that we've learned, even the things that I'm teaching you today. Is there a higher level of understanding than what I'm teaching you? I don't know. I hope there is, and I'm going to keep looking. And when I find it, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another training. I'm only teaching this training with such confidence because I know these things were hidden from virtually everybody. If you are even interested in these courses, you clearly don't know these things. Even if you know these things and you've done a lot of Zen work, I'll probably come up with 2 or 3 things that could be life-changing out of the dozens and dozens of things that I've shared with you. You only need one concept to change your life, and you'll be excited by that, and that'll be a quantum leap for you. Or you didn't know any of these things because they were hidden from you, or most of these things. But because I'm teaching them simply, they make intuitive sense to you. And you can grow, and you can feel wonderful about how much you've changed just by the end of this training. And as you incorporate this into your life, as you begin to understand it and accept it more, it'll get more and more and more powerful over time, as long as you have that honesty, openness, willingness. Realize that there's something called your current level of awareness. They talk about this in the book, Love is Letting Go of Fear, that I recommended. And that we're always looking for the next level of understanding.